Do a little free flow chi sao. We're going to keep it nice and light so we don't murder each other. Just to show you just a little bit of the flow and how we roll. So the chi sao is to test sensitivity. I'm using a fuk sao, so it'll look like this, just one hand. So he goes down to the tan. I'm just keeping the fuk and I'm keeping my elbow in. And then this side is bung and tan, so he's basically doing what I was doing. But you're making sure to keep the elbow in when you drop. And this is called the immovable wrist. I'm keeping my wrist in one spot. So that's how we start the chi sao. So you see, as soon as he gets onto the inside, he does the move and he gets in, we break and we start again. We're not looking to sumo slap. Chi sao is nothing like that. We're testing sensitivity. He feels like when I move and I give him a fake check, he's keeping his structure. That way I can't get in and we're getting stuck. That's why we call it a sticky situation. Our arms don't move. So what I do is I give him a couple of fake checks here and there to try to open him up. It's like a game of chess. You never want to go, this is never my kill strike. I want to move in. I want to be able to make him make a mistake. So Greg is very patient, so unfortunately I end up making most of the mistakes when we're doing this, as you can see. And see, we're trying to think of different moves to do instead of just getting stuck in bong sao and just trading over and over. He'll turn in for a different, he'll tan. He's real good with that. See, and he uses his drawing tan, like when I come in for things like, I'll come in like this, he draws it away. That way, see in slow motion, it's harder for me to get away. So for those sort of things, you either want to try to jump and punch, like the same thing, you want to and try to move in and change direction. I want to keep his center line away from my center line. That's the whole point of this. So when you see videos on YouTube of people just fucking slapping the shit out of each other, that's not Wing Chun. So here we go, real nice and soft. See? He's just moving in. He's redirecting my flow. So I try something different. I try here. He's got the lower bong. I have the upper hand. So when I try to get in, he's going to change it. Or eventually you can switch it too. Like, if he doesn't want to be there, he'll roll around it and get on the other side, where I don't want to be. So I want to try to change, you know what I mean? And really switch it up. That's the biggest thing. You're given so many tools in the beginning of the system, just lops and tans and bong. That's all you need to switch it up. If I want to get from one side to the other and I go here and I don't like it, I can keep tanning and keep going. And keep him guessing. Or if we end up, where I'm lopping, I can lop again, and then even try to clear it. Jut, anything. Gums are also really, really good, just because you can put it down. Or if I can control his arm, now I'm in a good position. I feel where he is, I have complete control, my tan sao's good, he can't strike, so we're at a stalemate, so we either have to wait and be patient, like we do most of the time. It's very boring to watch us roll. Because, I usually do shit like this, and I wait. But then I get bored, so then I'll do something, you know what I mean? So we keep it going. Exactly. Came in, he's using his leverage. Everything has to be a setup. Like, if we end up in a bong, this is one of my favorite things to do, is you come across, right, and you're basically edging this guy out to strike from high to low. That way he doesn't see it coming, and then you can move it down. So in faster motion it'll look like this. So if we end up like this, I'm just moving in. And also, there's also a lot of slapping drills that you can do. We can do, you want to do that? This is like a Filipino-style drill, but it's also incorporated in Wing Chun. So he punches, I'm slapping, I'm coming up, slapping and punching. It's coming up, woo. Now we start from the beginning. And then once you get faster, so that's that. And you can just keep going with it. And it's all about feeling. Eventually, they say in Chi Sao, you can do it blindfolded. And we'll go through the first break, which is Pak Da, which Greg will demonstrate. So now I'll demonstrate it for you so you can see it on both sides. And what you're doing is you're taking your Fook hand, which is your left hand here, and right before it reaches the bottom, you're cocking this arm out of the way and punching. And Greg puts up his woo, which is very important. This is jump da. He jumps. A lot of people think bringing the jump down, but as you see, Greg does it forward. You see the jump. So I pushed it into me. And you can see it from the other angle. I'll go ahead and do it. So I'm pushing forward and punching at the same time to get energy. And then the next one is lap da. Now the lap is just a simple grabbing of the wrist and doing the Pak Sao. Pak Sao is going for the throat. So from my side, it's here, and he still puts up the woo. And then the next one is Gum Da. Now Gum Da brings the arm straight down. So he's taking care of two arms with one hand. And then from my side, you see, I'm trying to take care of the other hand. It'll get stuck. He's good, so his woo came up. He's going to go through all 3 tons, and then I'll do the 3 tons. Good. Next one. Alright, now I'm going to slow those down for you. The first one, what you're doing is you're taking your Bong Sao, Tan Sao, the right hand, and you're going to scoop it under, and then pop that arm out of the way. Okay, so one more time slow-mo. Right? And then the next one, you're basically doing the Tan with the same hand, but you're keeping it on the same arm. And you're basically going to like jump punch with this one, so you're going to bring it straight down. So slow, it's here. That's what you saw Greg do, and then he popped me up. So it's just a quick. Then the next one, you're going to reach under the arm and do a Tan this way and hit. You want to make sure to get almost all the way under the armpit, like right here. That way when you turn, you've got from this side of the body. This is a Hyun Sao, so you're doing a switch, Hyun, and then you're taking this hand and kind of pulling it out of the way. So Greg will do it for you real slow so you can see from that angle. See, he's got my arm out of the way, and that way I can't attack him because his elbow is blocking his rib cage, if you can see that. And then the next one, he came over the top with his Bong Sao, and he's still protecting himself. And with that one, what you want to do is you want to drop the elbow down. See how my elbow came down? Because it'll block me. His punch will be insignificant to my body. So that's that one. And that's the last one, I believe, out of all the breaks. Then we do what we call answers to answers. So when I go to do a Pak Da to Greg, he's going to answer me back with a Pak Da back. So we'll do that again. So all he's doing is he's catching it with the woo, and then he's pocking and doing the same thing. And then the next one you can do from that is the lop. And even if I block, he's going to keep going. One after that, you can catch it with a Tan. Or if you're quick, like if you did it, you can punch at the same time. Instead of pocking, you can boom. And then the jump, which is, there's a couple of different jumps. So he pocks me, I'm going to block and use my switching, and then switch it around. That's more of a fancy one. The other one is just straight jump and punch. He goes to do it, I'm just moving his hand out of the way just enough, and with the jump, you're just giving a little flick and a push forward. So watch Greg do it. That's it. See, I just put my arm right out of the way. Just enough to cover my other one. And then the other one, which is a little more dangerous, is the Surgan Sao. So I'll demonstrate that first. Go ahead and pop. So you're basically cutting across, and then you have to bring it down, because if I'm here, he can punch me. So I want to move. So then he'll demonstrate. That's it. What we call the setup. So I want to set up, and as soon as I set up, I want to go again. It's just a double pock. It's just a quick pock. So go ahead, Greg. And then the next one is the pock and lop. You can go ahead and do it. Again, you just keep doing it. Judging on where the woo is, if the woo is pushed forward, which gets into a little more advanced what I'm doing, and I'll show you, I'll just do it with the one hand. So here he's pushing, I'm clearing the hand out. So I clear the hand out, and I try to get under or over, whatever works for you, but it's feeling the woo. And if the woo goes in, you know, then I want to pock again. Or even from here, lop, because, you know, it was weak and in. So you just want to place the woo just gently out, just enough so you can feel where he is. And as for the traps, so I'm pocking, right? I'm doing a tuck, which is moving the elbow up. I'm going underneath my own arm and shooting this forward to move his body. See how his body moves? And then I'm bringing this here. Important is put your head against his head and check the knee. And the grip is like this behind the neck. So Greg will do that one so you can see it from that side. And then the second one is opposite. So it's here. It's basically the same thing. You're tucking, but this time you're fucking the arm straight into his face and coming around. You're doing like a swim move. So it's just as soon as the arm is up, you swim around it. And then it's basically the same thing. Same lock, locking the knee. So we'll just move on to the third one. You can see he's doing a key lock. And what's really important is that he got his elbow into the, you know, the little divot of my shoulder and my collarbone. So when you see it from my side, he came over with his left hand over the bicep and through and grabbed his own arm. And then you keep this in a fook, the right hand. Bring it up and make sure his elbow is on the center of your chest and yours is in the little nook. And that way you can take him all the way down. Just walk him down to the ground. Now, the next one gets a little more intricate. Starts with a Chun Sao, and you're shooting for underneath the arm. This hand you keep free, and then you pull him down to you. And that way you have his shoulder blade. You swing his arm up, grab, and then you lock it again. You're always locking your own wrist. Alright, so from Greg's side it'll look like this. So he starts with a Chun Sao. He's going straight for my shoulder blade. And he's bringing my shoulder in close, and he's keeping his elbows real close together. That way, he has the option to knee me in the face if he wants to. Shoot me a knee. Boom. And that's to disorient me, then throws the arm behind the back, and now he's got me. And that's it. And then the next one is the hip toss. So the hip toss will look like this. He goes to do a pakta, and we're just trying to get a flow, right? And we end up in the position where I have a lobang sao and my tan sao. So gua sao. We end up here. I'm going to lop this hand down and turn to a punch, either to the face or to the chest, and then you're wrapping over, and you're going to toss him. It's as easy as that. So when you're coming, you want to make sure that both of your feet are parallel to his for the hip toss, and then he's sure to go. So that one again, real slow. He's just going to pock real slow. I'm going to catch, hit, move around, hip toss. It's real simple. And then the last one Greg is going to demonstrate. So it starts from here. So this direction, I pock, he woos, right? I'm basically lopping this hand and jumping up. And then I'm locking my own wrist and bringing it down. And if he gets out, then you bring it around like a belt. That way I have him if I have to sit on the ground or crank his arm a little more.